This evening is Gimel Tammuz, the 3rd of Tammuz, which is the 26th Yortzeit of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Now, obviously, for Chabad, this is a very important date. The truth is, it's an important date for the entire Jewish world, because the contribution that the Rebbe made, not only in person, but by empowering others, not only his followers, but every Jew and many non-Jews, is something that we all should commemorate, celebrate, and perpetuate. So when people talk about a Rebbe, not everybody appreciates what exactly is the role, what exactly is the purpose. Sure, the Rebbe was inspiring. The Rebbe taught hours of Torah, tens of thousands of hours represented in hundreds of printed volumes. The Rebbe motivated people to go out, give up the creature comforts of their hometowns, and establish Jewish centers in remote places around the world. We know that the Rebbe pushed very hard for a consciousness of morality and dedication to a higher authority throughout the world, including and especially the non-Jewish world. So we understand the impact, but sometimes we miss the depth of what exactly a Rebbe is all about. Rabbi Yosef Weinberg was one of the senior Hasidim who the Rebbe used frequently for all kinds of interesting missions around the world. Often he would have urgent matters that had to be brought to the Rebbe's attention. And on one occasion, he had a letter that needed to be delivered to the Rebbe, but it was late at night and all of the secretaries had already gone home. Rabbi Weinberg noticed that the light was still on in the Rebbe's office, indicating, of course, that the Rebbe was still there. And so he decided to slip the envelope into the crack of the door, hoping that the Rebbe would see the letter, take it, read it, and respond. Afterwards, he realized that he had made a terrible mistake, a very disrespectful move in his own self-assessment, because he realized that as the Rebbe would open the door, the letter would fall to the ground, and the Rebbe would then have to bend down and lift that letter off the ground in order to be able to read it. And he felt that that was terribly disrespectful for somebody who had so much respect for a Torah scholar, for a Rebbe, that as soon as he had the next opportunity to speak to the Rebbe privately, he made a profuse apology. The Rebbe heard him out, gave a smile, and said, "Haloi zehu kol inyoni. Is this not my entire purpose? Uf zu heuben, to pick up what has fallen." You know, there are great people in our history who were renowned for their scholarship. There are great people who were renowned for their piety. But Moshe Rabbeinu, the first leader of the Jewish people, was renowned for his ability to lift the people out of whatever particular difficult spiritual or physical situation they found themselves in. Moshe begins his career as a shepherd, and God tests him with the one lamb that runs away. Will he, in fact, chase it and bring it back to the flock? And when he does, he discovers the burning bush. Moshe's first public role is to take the Jews out of what the Torah describes as the oppression of Egypt, which is not just the fact that they were slaves. It means that they were psychologically and spiritually oppressed. His job was to lift them, to take them from the 49th out of 50 levels of impurity and connect them directly to God to such an extent that they were willing and ready and excited to receive the Torah. And when the Jews fell again and again through the 40 years in the desert, whether it was complaining about the food or the lack of water or the spies and that they would never go into the promised land, or the rebellion of Korach, or of course the worst of the worst when they made the golden calf, every single time Moshe rushed to their defense, not only to negotiate on their behalf to God, but much more importantly, to guide and coach them how to come back from the spiritual abyss. That is a Moshe. And the Zohar tells us that there's a Moshe in every generation. That is a Rebbe. Someone whose entire purpose is purely dedicated to those who may have fallen. May have fallen just a little, or may have fallen completely. And his job, with absolute optimism, with absolute belief in the individual, with absolute dedication and a refusal to rest until it is done, his job is to lift. We, on this day of Gimel Tammuz, should reflect on how we can turn to somebody else and lift them.